Let me start where you live. Distraction is not cute. It is costly. It is the silent leak in your life. 10 minutes here, a scroll there, a notification parade, and suddenly your day is a cemetery of half-dug wells. Time is your life measured, and when you waste minutes, you are funding your own delay. Some of you are tithing to distraction, time, money, momentum, without even a receipt. Oh dear, am I talking to myself? Look at me. Distraction invoices you daily, and you keep paying because you haven't priced it. Write this down. The price of distraction is your future billed in installments. Proverbs 29-18 says, where there is no vision, the people cast off restraint. That's discipline. In other words, when vision is absent, self-control resigns. You don't have a discipline problem, you have a vision problem. What did I say? Say it out loud. Discipline doesn't die from weakness. It dies from the absence of vision. Vision is not a poster, it is a law. You don't break laws, laws break you. Gravity doesn't care about your feelings, and neither does the law of vision. Vision organizes behavior the way gravity organizes planets. Focus is not a personality trait, it is the effect of a fixed future. Tips without vision are like band-aids on a bullet hole, temporary, cosmetic, deceptive. Please write that down and tweet it to somebody right now. Let's count the bill. If you lose 20 minutes to nonsense, 3 times a day, that's an hour. 1 hour a day is 7 hours a week, almost a work day. In a year, that's 365 hours. At $50 of value per hour, you just donated over $18,000 to nothing. And worse, momentum compounds in reverse. Your confidence, your clarity, your credibility all bleed. Distraction is an expensive habit. You just never asked for the receipt. So here's the thesis for this whole journey. When vision is clarified, written, and operationalized, attention follows assignment, discipline becomes sustainable, and distraction becomes too costly to indulge. Habakkuk 2:2 says, write the vision and make it plain that he may run. That reads it. Reverse the verse. If it is not written and plain, nobody runs, including you. What did I say? Let's participate right now. Hand on your heart and speak this with authority. Where there is no clear vision, my discipline has no job. Again, louder. Because tonight I am not giving you hacks. I'm giving you a diagnosis and a deliverance, the law of vision. By the time we finish, your future will be the employer and your discipline will have a contract. Say it back to me. Vision hires discipline. Distraction fires it tonight. We change payroll. For good, forever. Now let me define what we are dealing with, because language creates lanes. Write this down. A law is a constant, impartial, consequence-bearing principle built into creation. It is predictable, it is no respecter of persons, and it does not negotiate. You do not break laws, laws break you. In other words, a law is a built-in instruction with a built-in judgment. Jump off a building, gravity won't hold a meeting, it will hold you to the ground. Vision operates on that level. Vision is a vivid, written picture of a preferred future that dictates present decisions. Please write that down now. If it's not vivid, it won't move you. If it's not written, it won't manage you. If it doesn't dictate decisions, it's a fantasy. Isaiah says God declares the end from the beginning, and then he works backward. Isaiah 46:10. That's vision, ending the thing in your mind, putting it on paper, then letting that end supervise your today. Focus is the effect. A fixed future is the cause. Let me give you a picture. Energy without rails is a wildfire. It burns talent, scorches relationships, and leaves you with ash called busyness. But lay down tracks, and that same energy becomes a train power with direction. Movement with arrival. Vision lays the tracks. Your emotions are the steam. Your gifts are the engine. But without rails, you just make heat and noise. What did I say? Say it. Vision turns power into progress. Paul said, I do not run aimlessly. I do not box as one beating the air. 1 Corinthians 9:26. That's rails talking. Now, a clarification you must master. There is a difference between laws and rules. Rules are cultural agreements, temporary, negotiable, often convenient for institutions. Laws are baked into creation, non-negotiable, universal, exacting. Jesus confronted people who prioritize traditions over commandments. He asks, why do you break the command of God for the sake of your tradition? Matthew 15:3. Successful people honor laws relentlessly and edit rules ruthlessly. Write that down. Vision is not a rule of your company. It is a law of your destiny. Ignore it, and the consequences are not personal. They are principle. Principles collect payment. This is why hacks can't hold you. Tips are rules. Vision is law. When the future is fixed in your spirit and framed on your paper, attention stops wandering and starts reporting for duty. Habakkuk did not say, think the vision. He said, write it, make it plain, so he may run. Habakkuk 2:2. Reverse the verse. If it's not plain, you won't run. If it's not written, it won't hire your focus. Say this with me. Focus is employment. Vision is the employer. Your mind follows mission. Let's get practical and painful, because pain is a teacher with a good memory. Write this down. Every distraction has a receipt: time, trust, talent, and treasure. You may not get a paper invoice, but the bill is being tallied. Ephesians 5:16 says, redeem the time because the days are evil. Redeem means to buy back. Question: how can you redeem what you refuse to appraise? In other words, if you don't price your minutes, somebody else will rent them cheap. Quick audit right now. Take out your phone or your notebook. Please do it. List the top 3 time leaks from the last 7 days. Name them. Don't generalize. Was it scrolling news with no assignment, endless group chat, aimless meetings, Netflix roulette? Now, assign a dollar value to each hour you lost. Don't be religious. Be honest. If your hour is worth $50 and you lost 7 hours, that's $350. If it's $100, that's $700. Some of you just discovered you tied to TikTok. Oh dear. Tweet that to somebody. What do they say? Distraction collects offerings without covenant. But the bill isn't only money. It's trust. Missed deadlines. Invoice your credibility. Your spouse's patience thins. Your client's confidence drops. Your team starts believing your calendar. Proverbs 20:6 says, many claim to have unfailing love, but a faithful person who can find. Faithful means predictable under pressure. Distraction makes you unpredictable. And unpredictability taxes trust. Write this down. When trust goes down, supervision goes up, and opportunity goes away. Then there's talent. Skill compounds with attention. Every hour you fed distraction, you starve mastery. What song wasn't written? What code wasn't shipped? What chapter wasn't drafted? What language wasn't practiced? That is called opportunity cost. Luke 14:28 asks, which of you intending to build a tower does not sit down first and count the cost? Reverse it. Which of you intending to waste a year does not refuse to count the cost? Until you count the cost of distraction, you won't pay the price for focus. Say that back to me. And treasure, yes, real money. Late fees, rush fees, rework costs, lost deals because you replied at midnight instead of midday. Proverbs 24:30, 34 paints the field of the lazy thorns, broken walls, poverty arriving like a robber. In other words, neglect is a silent thief with a predictable schedule. You don't break the law of attention, the law breaks your budget. Reframe it forever. If it doesn't fund vision, it finds vision. Put that in bold on your mirror. Every click is a contract. Every notification is an invoice. Your future is either accruing interest or accruing penalties. Psalm 90:12 says, teach us to number our days that we may gain a heart of wisdom. Numbering is accounting. Accounting is awareness. Awareness is stewardship. Stewardship is worship. Write this down. Attention is currency. Spend it where your assignment appreciates. Now lift your right hand and say, I will no longer donate my destiny to distraction. Again, because from tonight, we don't guess the cost, we count it. We don't rent our attention, we invest it. And the moment you see the bill clearly, you will gladly pay the price for focus. Now that you've seen the bill, let me reset your philosophy so you stop living by weather reports and start living by laws. Write this down. Success is not magic. Success is management of laws. Joshua 1:8 says, this book of the law shall not depart from your mouth. Do it, then you will make your way prosperous and have good success. Reverse the verse. Neglect the law. Refuse to do it. And you guarantee confusion and delay. Prosperity doesn't come by prayer. It comes by practice of principles. God is not mocked. Whatever a man sows, that he will also reap. Galatians 6-7. In other words, sowing is the law. Reaping is the result. Luck is the excuse of the lawless. You being fearing your moods like they own your destiny. Write this down. When you align with law, outcomes become more reliable than your motivation. Your feelings are thermometers. Laws are thermostats. They set conditions. Deuteronomy 28:1, 2 reads, if you fully obey, all these blessings shall come upon you and overtake you. Notice the predictability, overtake you. You don't chase outcomes. Outcomes chase obedience. Tweet that to somebody. What did I say? Say it loud. I don't chase results. I obey laws and results chase me. Let me expose the romance of shortcuts. The longest way to success is the shortcut. Why? Because skipping steps guarantees starting over. Write this down. Process protects progress. Seeds do not negotiate with seasons. They submit to them. You can shout a soil for 3 hours, or you can plant, water, and wait. Both take time. The first wastes it, the second invests it. Jesus called the kingdom a seed. He did not call it a microwave. In other words, accelerate obedience, not outcomes. Here's how we de-romanticize luck. Pilots don't trust vibes, they trust checklists. Surgeons don't operate by inspiration, they operate by protocol. Athletes don't win by goosebumps, they win by drills. Law before thrill. Say this with me. Keep the law, and the law keeps you on course. Again, finish it. Keep the law, and the law keeps you on course. You don't break laws. Laws break you, or they build you, depending on which side of obedience you stand. Bring it home. From tonight, stop gambling with your future. Govern it by principles. Choose the laws relevant to your assignment and obey them relentlessly. The law of vision, the law of attention, the law of diligence, the law of sowing and reaping. Say this out loud. Obey the right laws consistently, and success becomes more predictable than willpower. One more time for your mind to record it. Because when obedience becomes your normal, outcomes become your neighbors. They find you daily. That is lawful predictability. Before you pick a strategy, pick yourself. Identity before activity. Write this down. I am must come before I do. Purpose is not a hobby. It is a law of being. You don't break the law of purpose. It breaks your calendar. When purpose is clear, priorities stop negotiating. Say that back to me. Confusion is expensive. Clarity pays interest. Strategy without identity is motion without direction, busy and late to places you were never assigned. God decided identity before activity. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. I appointed you. We are his workmanship, created for good works, prepared beforehand. Write this down. Purpose precedes performance. Design dictates duty. Success is measured by purpose, not comparison. Success is not what you've done compared to others. It is what you've done compared to what you were supposed to do. Tweet it and free your soul from competition today. Now, pen ready. Write these clarifying questions and answer them. Who am I? Who do I serve? What problem do I solve visibly? Identity, audience, problem. This trinity governs priority. Who am I? Speaks to gift and nature, teacher, builder, healer, designer. Who do I serve? Narrows the field, children, founder, cities, patience. What problem do I solve visibly? Attracts influence. Because people honor solutions they can see daily. Influence is when others change their priorities for yours. Purpose separates you from the crowd because it clarifies your yes and your no. Write this down. Every yes is a no to something else. Wise people choose in light of purpose. Fish don't attend flying lessons. Seeds don't live on marble tiles. Stay in your water, plant in soil. Jesus said, I must preach the kingdom to towns, for I was sent for this purpose. I must is identity speaking. Sent is assignment, choosing. So build your day from identity outward. Write this down. Let I am higher, I do. If you are a teacher, your mornings belong to study and creation. If you are a builder, your time belongs to design and sight. If you are a healer, energy belongs to recovery and skill. Create not to-do list. Fire assignments that don't fit. If it doesn't advance purpose, it is distraction with a title. Edit ruthlessly. Honor principles relentlessly. Lift your voice and seal it. I am who he designed. Therefore, my calendar obeys my calling. Jesus said, I must be about my Father's business. And Nehemiah declared, I am doing a work and cannot come down. That is identity policing priority. Bind your yes to purpose and your no to peace. Write this down. When purpose is clear, priorities stop negotiating. Tweet it, schedule it, and live it until it lives you daily. Now, that I am has hired, I do. Let me put your mind on payroll. Write this down. Attention follows assignment. Say it back to me. Again, louder. Attention follows assignment. Your mind is a servant. When you don't give it a job description, it will find entertainment. But when you define the mission with criteria, your mind stops wandering and starts working. Proverbs 4:25 says, let your eyes look straight ahead. Fix your gaze directly before you. Fix means assign. Gaze means criteria. In other words, give your brain a target and it will build you a tunnel. God engineered your brain with a filter. Scientists call it the reticular activating system. Write this down. Your brain is a filter, not a file cabinet. Criteria instructs the filter. That's why when you decide to buy a red cars appear everywhere. They were always there. Your filter just received an assignment. Paul said, this one thing I do, I press toward the mark. Philippians 3:13-14. Mark means target. Target turns noise into navigation. Tweet that right now. Target turns noise into navigation. Upgrade your sentence forever. Stop saying I need more discipline. Say I need more definition. What did I say? Say it out loud. James 1-8 warns, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Double-minded means double-missioned. Undefined mission creates manic attention. Up today, scattered tomorrow. Define the mission precisely and your attention becomes magnetic, not manic. Let me make it practical. Write this down. Assignment is a 12-word sentence that names your people, their problem, and your promise. Why 12? Because constraint forces clarity. You don't need paragraphs to govern a day. You need a sentence with a job in it. Here's a template you can steal. I help people solve problems so they can promise. Now craft yours in 12 words. Count them. Example, I equip urban teens to master literacy so destiny becomes employable now. Another, I coach burned out founders to systemize teams so vision scales sustainably daily. One more, I design affordable clinics for villages, solving access so mothers live longer. Did you count them? 12, precision is management. Write yours now. Don't wait. Put it at the top of your notes app, on your mirror, in your calendar. Read it morning, midday, and evening. Every time you read it, your filter receives orders. Watch what happens. Articles will find you. People will surface. Opportunities will self-select. Not magic law. Assignment attracts attention. Nehemiah said, I am doing a great work and cannot come down. That's mission, sealing the filter. Say it with me. My mind follows my mission. From today, every task must ask permission from your 12 words. If it serves your people, solves their problem, or fulfills your promise, it gets your best attention. If not, it gets your best no. Write this down. Definition is the higher letter. Discipline is the employee. Distraction is the trespasser. Post your assignment at the door of your mind and let the law do its work. Pens up. We're going to hire your discipline today. Habakkuk 2:2 says, write the vision and make it plain that he may run that reads it. Run follows read. Read follows write. Write this down. If you can't write it, you can't work it. If you can't measure it, you can't manage it. Tweet that to somebody right now. What did I say? Say it back to me. This is not a poster. This is payroll. You're drafting a one-page employer for your focus. Here's the blueprint. 1 page, 3 frames. Frame 1, headline, who and why. In one clear sentence, name your identity and your burden. Example, I am a community builder, equipping first-gen students because potential deserves a pathway. That's identity and cause. Frame 2, outcome, what done looks like. Paint the finished picture, so specific, you could photograph it. Example, by done, 300 students per year graduate, debt minimized, internship placed, and leadership certified. Frame 3, measures how we'll know. Choose 2 or 3 measurable indicators, not vibes, Example, placement rate 85% plus, average debt under $8K, 1-2 month retention 90%. Write this down. Feelings, celebrate, measures, manage. Now add horizon so your future becomes a schedule, not a slogan. 3-year picture, 2 numbers only. Example, 3 years, 900 graduates impacted, $2, 4M scholarship secured. 12-month targets, 2 numbers that prove you're on path. Example, 12 months, 300 students served, $800K raise. 90-day projects 2 concrete bills that move the 1-2 months. Example, 90 days, launch mentor portal V1, sign MOUs with 3 local businesses. Each horizon must own 2 metrics. Why 2? Because focus hates crowds. Jesus set his face like flint. Flint doesn't multitask. Daily alignment now. This is where law turns into lifestyle. Joshua 1:8, meditate on this law day and night. Do it, then you will make your way prosperous. Reverse the verse, stop reading and stop doing, and you guarantee delay. So morning and evening, read your 1-page vision out loud. Let it judge today's yes and no. Ask 2 questions before you touch an email. Does this move a 90-day project? Does this advance a 1-2 month target? If no, it gets your best no. Nehemiah said, I am doing a great work and cannot come down. Your 1-pager is your cannot come down. Bind it to your life, print it, date it, sign it, post it in your study and your phone's lock screen. Deuteronomy 6-9 says, write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. In other words, put your laws where your eyes live. Share it with 2 accountability partners. Make your yes public so your no has witnesses. Set alarms at 6 a.m. and 9 p.m. Read, review, reorder. Write this down. A written, measured vision is a daily employer for your discipline. Say it again, louder, because from today, your calendar will stop guessing and start obeying a page that pays your focus on time every time. Now that your vision is on paper and on your wall, we must clear the runway. Write this down. Laws conserve life. Rules conserve comfort. Never sacrifice principle to please tradition. Jesus looked religious leaders in the eye and asked, why do you break the command of God for the sake of your tradition? And again, you nullify the word of God by your tradition. Matthew 15:3, Mark 7:13. That's serious language. Nullify. In other words, a man-made rule can cancel a God-ordained result if you let it. Successful people always break the rules for the sake of the law. What did I say? Say it back to me. Honor principles relentlessly. Edit traditions ruthlessly. Identify your anti-vision rules. Please write this list and circle your offenders. Unnecessary meetings without agendas, outdated obligations you inherited but that bear no fruit. Reflexive email before creation. Always available office hours, multitasking as a badge. Group chats with no mission. Clutter that negotiates your attention. 10 browser tabs. Apps barking at you like stray dogs. Weekly committees that produce minutes but never movement. These are rules, cultural comforts, not laws. If a rule steals momentum, it breaks a law. If it doesn't feed vision, it finds vision. Tweet that to somebody. Jesus said the Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. Mark 2:27. Principle, rest, conserves life. The rule, how many steps, conserve comfort for gatekeepers. He healed on the Sabbath because life is the law. The calendar box was the rule. Permission slip right now. You are allowed to break customs that contradict your calling. Say it out loud. I am free to offend tradition, to obey principle. Design your environment to agree with law. Hebrews 12:1 says, lay aside every weight, not just sin, weight. Weights are lawful distractions that slow holy assignments. So remove visual clutter. Clear your desk until your 1-page vision is the loudest object in the room. Create a single task workspace, 1 notebook, 1 project, 1 window. Silence notifications, phones and watches. Go on. Do not disturb during your power blocks. Whitelist only emergency contacts. Write this down. Noise must become expensive. Creation must be affordable. Set governance rules that serve principles. No agenda, no attendance. Meetings default to 25 minutes, not an hour. Email after output, never before. Browser starts on your 90-day project board, not news. Calendar invites require a written objective and a decision owner or they die. Place Place your phone in another room when you write. Use website blockers in your focus windows. Build an interruption protocol with your team signal. Red hours when you cannot come down. Lift your right hand and declare it. I will honor principles relentlessly and edit traditions ruthlessly. Again, louder. Print your permission slip. I am authorized to say no to preserve my holy yes. From tonight, your environment will keep the law of vision, and every rule that blocks traction will be fired for cause. Write this down. If you don't calendar your vision, someone else will calendar your distraction. Time is neutral until it is named. Ecclesiastes 3:1 says, to everything there is a season and a time for every purpose. Purpose demands time. In other words, if purpose doesn't own the hours, pressure and people will rent them cheap. Blocks are boundaries for blessing. A day without design is a playground for demons of delay. Tweet that. What did I say? Say it out loud. I schedule my purpose or I subsidize my postponement. Block one deep work, 90 to 120 minutes on the most vision critical task before communication, before email, before news, before chats. Jesus rose a great while before day and prayed. Mark 1:35. He withdrew to lonely places. Luke 5:16. Separation precedes saturation. Put your phone in another room. Open your one-page vision. Choose your top 1 to 3 outcomes to be completed by 10 a.m. Start a timer, 90 minutes, one task, one tool, one tab. This is Nehemiah hour. I am doing a great work and cannot come down. Write this down. Create before you consume, produce before you respond. When the future is served first, the day obeys the law of vision. Block 2, service and collaboration. Meetings, delivery, and support align to your assignment. Batch them into 2 to 3 windows, never scattered like confetti. No agenda, no attendance. Default to 25-minute meetings with a decision owner. Protect communication inside these windows. Email, calls, Slack, all on a leash. Proverbs 27:17 says, iron sharpens iron, but only when there is friction with purpose. Every meeting must move a metric from your one page or it doesn't get your presence. Say it with me. My meetings move metrics. If it doesn't, it's a visit, and visits are for evenings. Block 3, recovery and preparation, learning, reflection, and tomorrow's setup. Read to refill, review your measures, journal 3 wins and 1 lesson, stretch, walk, be present with family. This is the Sabbath principle daily. Genesis records, and the evening and the morning were the first day. Close today by setting tomorrow. Lay out materials, write the next top 1 to 3 outcomes, and pre-decide your start. Proverbs 16:3, commit your works to the Lord and your plans will be established. Reverse the verse, withhold your works and your plans dissolve. Sleep is strategy, recovery is responsibility. Now, action. Put these 3 blocks on your calendar for the next 30 days. Name them. Set alarm labels, deep work, service, recovery. Share them with your team. Train your world to respect red hours. You don't break this law, it breaks you. Design your day and you will govern your life. You design your day, now design your people economy. Write this down. Proximity is a law. He who walks with the wise becomes wise, but a companion of fools suffers harm. Proverbs 13:20. You don't break the law of association. The law breaks or builds you. In other words, your circle is a forecast of your future. So classify your relationships today into 4 categories. Say them with me. Investors, collaborators, customers, distractors. Investors pour in wisdom, resources, credibility. Collaborators build with hands. Systems sweat. Customers you serve. Your assignment blesses them and funds the mission. Distractors drain time, focus, morale. Tweet this now. Proximity compounds purpose. Choose circles that multiply your mission. Audit your proximity. Draw 3 rings. Inner table. Daily or weekly access. Middle bench. Schedule monthly access. Outer gate by appointment only. Schedule. Increase access to investors, calendar standing, breakfast, monthly reviews, quick voice notes with questions prepared. Reduce access to distractors, set office hours, move chats to email, mute threads with no mission, and put a price on your presence. No agenda, no attendance. Define meeting purposes before they touch your calendar. Decide, design, or deliver. If it's not one of the 3, it's not for me. What did I say? Say it out loud. This is not arrogance. It is stewardship of assignment. Mentors and models next. Scripture says, imitate those who through faith and patience inherit the promises. Hebrews 6:12. Don't idolize outcomes. Interrogate processes. Study visible problem solvers in your field. How do they plan? How do they recover? What metrics do they watch weekly? Sit where winners work. Jesus curated circles. He had crowds, 70, 12, and 3. Peter, James, and John saw what the others did not. Write this down. Access is curriculum. Move closer to models who have receipts, not just reputations. Now, accountability, the glue. Build a weekly 30-minute check-in with metrics, not moods. Hebrews 10:24 says, consider how to stir one another to love and good works. Consider means plan. Stir means provoke. Your agenda is simple. Last week's numbers, this week's commitments, one obstacle, one ask. Dashboard, 3 measures from your one-page vision, output shipped, pipeline advanced, promises kept. Feelings are noted, numbers are negotiated. Tweet that to somebody. When trust is measured, progress is managed. Action now. List 12 names under the 4 categories, 3 each. Promote 2 investors to your inner table. Schedule 1 mentor lunch and send your questions in advance. Define your collaboration windows and invite builders there only. Move 2 distractors to the outer gate with love and clarity. Start your weekly metrics. Huddle this Friday at 8 a.m. No stories without statistics. Lift your hand and declare, I curate circles that fund vision. Again, because from tonight, your relationships will obey your assignment, and your assignment will attract the relationships that make your future inevitable. Your circles are curated. Now guard the gates. Write this down. Vision travels on channels, and channels must be protected. Devices are not toys. They are gates to your focus, your faith, and your future. Proverbs 4:23 says, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. God is not the author of confusion. 1 Corinthians 14:33. So if your phone authors confusion, you just hired the wrong prophet. Default off is the law. Please write this down. Notifications off by default. Connection by decision. Go into settings tonight. Turn off badges, banners, sounds, previews for every app not tied to mission. Set do not disturb as your daily default. Whitelist only covenant people and emergency numbers. Jesus said, when you pray, go into your room and shut the door. Matthew 6:6. Shut the digital door. No app is allowed to knock without appointment. Say it with me. No ping without purpose. Batch the buzz. Process messages 2 to 3 times daily, late morning, mid-afternoon, and if required, early evening. Outside those windows, you are not ignoring, you are designing. During deep work, 1 screen, 1 tab, 1 tool, airplane mode on every device. What did I say? Single screen, single tab, single task. Nehemiah language. I cannot come down for a notification. Write this down. Response is a window, not a reflex. Friction first. Make impulse expensive. Turn your phone to grayscale. Remove social apps from your home screen. Log out after each use. Install site blockers and app limits. 30 minutes total social per day across all platforms. Require a passcode to add apps. You don't break the law of attention. The law breaks you. Paul said, all things are lawful for me, but I will not be mastered by anything. 1 Corinthians 6:12. Raise the price of mindless taps until laziness can't afford them. Now build an attention budget. Cap daily news and social minutes. Write a number 30 to 45 max. Then reallocate the surplus to creation and learning. Trade 40 minutes of scrolling for 20 minutes of study and 20 minutes of output. Pages written, code shipped. Philippians 4 to 8 sets the menu true, noble, just, pure. Feed your filter with what funds vision. Set 3 alarms labeled create, learn, connect. Write this down. Make noise expensive and creation affordable. Action tonight. Turn off 5 categories of notifications. Enable do not disturb by default. Set 2 message windows. Install 1 blocker. Switch to grayscale and set your cap. Ephesians 5:16. Redeem the time. Lift your right hand and declare, I price my attention like treasure. I charge noise a premium. I subsidize creation with discipline. Again. Because from tonight, your devices will obey your destiny and your future will hear itself think. This is the moment of covenant, not feelings binding. Ecclesiastes 5:4 says, when you make a vow to God, do not delay to pay it. Write this down. Covenant converts intention into obligation, and obligation funds consistency. Say that back to me. Again, you don't break laws. Laws break you, or they build you depending on your covenant with them. Psalm 118:27 says, bind the sacrifice with cords to the altar. Today, bind your future to daily practices so distraction becomes too expensive to afford. Take your pen, focus, covenant, 3 columns. Column 1, I will practices. Write 1, I will read my 1-page vision aloud morning and night. I will begin each day with 90 minutes of deep work before communication. I will batch messages into 2 windows only. Column 2, I won't boundaries. Write 1, I won't touch my phone before scripture, and my top 3. I won't attend agendaless meetings or accept invites without a stated decision owner. I won't say yes on the spot. I will decide after I consult my 1-page. Column 3, I'll measure metrics right. 1 deep work minutes completed per day. Weekly outputs shipped that move, a 90-day project. Percentage of days I kept my morning, evening ritual. Numbers don't lie, they testify. Tweet that to somebody. Now, rituals that lock the door on drift. Morning clarity. Stand up, read your 1-pager, pray Joshua 1-8 over it, and write your top 3 outcomes that advance your 90-day builds. Midday reset. 5 minutes, read your 12-word assignment, check 1 metric, and make 1 ruthless edit to your afternoon. Evening review and gratitude. Journal 3 wins, 1 lesson, 1 improvement. List 3 gratitudes. Set tomorrow's top 3 and lay your tools out. Genesis records the evening and the morning were the first day. In other words, tomorrow starts tonight. Public declaration next. James 5:16 says, confess your faults one to another that you may be healed. Confession creates accountability. Share your 1-sentence assignment with a partner or your team before this day ends. Set 1 bold 90-day milestone with 2 numbers and a date. Put the review on the calendar now. Matthew 5:37, let your yes be yes. Public yes makes private no enforceable. Celebrate evidence weekly. Build a Friday wins report. 1, problem solved. 2, value delivered. 3, next right action. No stories without statistics. Hebrews 10:24, consider how to stir one another to love and good works. Consider means plan a report. Stir means send it. Influence is when others change their priorities for yours. Your report trains your world to take your mission seriously. Now stand in your spirit and repeat, I bind my future to daily practices and public promises. Again, Joshua 24-15, choose this day whom you will serve. Choose law, choose vision. Sign and date your covenant tonight. Send your assignment to your partner. Schedule your 90-day review. From this day, distraction will look at your covenant ledger and realize it cannot afford you. Your yes is expensive, your no is wealthy, and your destiny is now under contract. Go and make your way prosperous by practice.